Mother speaks. I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary. Well, welcome to Great Mother Speaks. I'm Tammy Taylor, your manifestation muse, and today we're talking about
your Great Mother Speaks March full moon reading. This full moon is in Leo. It is a very powerful full moon. It is the full moon that marks the halfway place of this eclipse season. This is the halfway mark, the pinnacle, the arc, the climax of this season. And we pay attention to the eclipse season here with the lunar readings from Great Mother, our still small voice, that intuition, what we know, because this channel is all about aligning our emotion, that Western astrology, that how we feel energy with the intuitive energy. And in order to do that, we do have to be aware of the difference. So the difference is the emotional heart below energy. That is about survival. That is about the continuum between fear and love, pain and joy. So that kind of relay system from the heart below chakras to the heart above chakras, which are the intuitive realm. It's the realm of the soul. Now, all of our chakras contain the yin and the yang, and so that's what the readings get into. They get into how we are supported energetically throughout these purification seasons, which are what ecliptical seasons are. This one right now with Leo in the North Node and Aquarius in the South Node has to do with following our hearts, that Leo energy, that Great Father energy ruled by the Sun, at the expense or with the group thought as an afterthought. So following one's heart, doing what you want to do first as a priority, and then considering the needs of others is really what this energy is about. It's about us being supported in pursuing what it is our heart, that crossroads between the ego and the soul, wants to do in this lifetime. And so there's been a lot of energy supporting that. Have all of us done a beautiful job at exhibiting that and at communicating that to one another? Perhaps not necessarily, but it's all in divine order, and that's what we focus on here. We focus on our divinity. 3 primary concepts: that we are divine children of the Great Mother, Father, God. The second is that we are therefore never condemned or judged. And finally, we are never left alone. There's always guidance along our path. We use the analogy of the Wizard of Oz to exemplify this. They are black and white cards, symbolizing the yin and the yang, the Great Father energy of the Sun and the Great Mother energy of the Moon, that darkness, that still small voice, that black void of the cosmos, and the Sidereal astrology, which is where Cancer is in the North Node, or Rahu at this time, and Capricorn is in the South. This is very important to know. The Great Mother, Great Father nexus that we're working with is extremely powerful. It has to do with the transition from the Piscean age to the Aquarius age. We are letting go of Aquarius energies that no longer serve us, and we're moving more into Aquarian energies that have to do with personal, individual spiritual expression. And so this ecliptical season is a series of ecliptical seasons that will usher in the Aquarius age in earnest. Great Mother is the Moon, which rules Cancer, the North Node in the Sidereal. The Sidereal astrology is the soul astrology, and this is where you hear me refer to the double houses. So, for example, if you are Leo, then more than likely your sidereal sign is Cancer, unless you're about the 5th of the people that exist that have both. Leo, etc., etc. If you want to double check, be sure to do so at the links below. While you're there, I would also like you to take a look at the Mama Drama Trauma channel. It's just getting up and going. The website is coming soon. But for those of you who are the majority that are here out of the work that I do with Mama Drama Trauma and how Great Mother came through to create this deck and to create this work to heal Mama Drama Trauma. I would really appreciate your critiques and your feedback. The channel and the website that's coming is going to be a resource for you to be able to identify, for you to be able to assess, and to get the materials that you need to support your healing of this condition. Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and/or physical trauma. In cases where she's unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is required. Loving detachment is the basis of these readings. And with these readings, we're looking at energies as impersonal energies that support divine beings, our experience. The black and white world of yin and yang is the world of infinite probabilities. It is the world, the source and center of all things. It also symbolizes the farm where Dorothy came from and from which she returned. The yellow brick road, or the rainbow world, technicolor world, is the world of reality and illusion in which we descend into in order to have experiences that evolve our soul. For Mama Drama Trauma, for example, the life lesson for soul evolution is self-love and spiritual independence. Every full moon and new moon is an opportunity to work with energies in order to achieve that here with Great Mother Speaks. For this full moon in Leo, this is the counterbalance of the Leo sun that was active during the total solar eclipse back in August. Although this is not an eclipse, it marks the halfway mark because we have up to this point had the total solar eclipse in August. Before that, the season started in earnest with a partial lunar eclipse at the beginning of August, whose moon was in Aquarius. And we have just had a partial solar eclipse whose moon was in Aquarius. But before that, there was a total lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses are always during the full moon. They are cleansing, purification moons. And solar eclipses pull shadows to show us what needs to be looked at. So just this past February 15th, just recently, 2 weeks ago, you might want to check out what Great Mother was saying to you about the shadows that were being pulled out for you. That moon was in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Capricorn in the Sidereal, and Aquarius, Pisces in the Western. So it was pulling up shadows for us that had to do with that transition from the Aquarius to the Pisces age. Capricorn in the South Node in the Sidereal is a soul indication that now as we are moving into lighter, more soulful energies of Pisces and the Aquarius genius energy of individual expression, which is a higher expression than Leo, but in the South Node and the Western, it's a balancing of paying attention too much to this physical world and being able to relax in the reality of our divinity. If that sounds like a little bit too much, let's unwrap it here and let's talk a little bit more about the rainbow world in which we exist. It's full of planets, it's full of chakras that assist us in the centrifugal forces of these energies in our bodies that ground our soul energy here. What I'm going to do is pull a card for each sign. This is going to be an indication for you of how Great Mother is working with you this March full moon. This halfway mark has to do with this energy going more into self-expression, heart expression, and releasing the group on an ego level, and deeper going into the Cancer, Rahu, North Node level of using that individual expression to be more caring, to have more solidly grounded homes, solidly grounded mothering, self-care, and releasing the need for so much order and so much structure that is resisting or blocking our ability to do so. For your sign, there's going to be a different message that Great Mother comes to you about this particular halfway mark. Because as we move into the rest of the season, which ends in November, we have one more total lunar eclipse in July, and we have a partial solar eclipse in August, closing things out. Now, the season began in earnest back in May of 2017. What was happening for you 9 months ago? An eclipse season is 18 months, so we're at that 9-month mark. What was happening for you and perhaps to you May of last year? Collectively, Venus had just left Aries, and it had been in Aries back and forth with Pisces in retrograde for a couple of months. And when it finally left, a lot of us had come to a realization about some things that we perhaps had known, but the truth was going to take us some time to process, particularly in the areas of personal relationships and what our personal needs were. This was the entry point into this Cancer Leo North Node energy that started in earnest with the lunar eclipse at the beginning of August in Aquarius. What this means is that as the nodes shifted from Virgo Pisces, ordering our emotions into being clear about those emotions, and the purification, which opened up this eclipse season back in August, was purifying what was from the previous eclipse season that needed to be clarified in terms of our spirituality, in terms of our higher knowing, in terms of what we knew we needed in order to have internal balance. And so as this eclipse season opened, I want you to kind of think about where you were with that, because I'm going to pick a card for each sign, and as you listen to your individual readings, see how this theme is playing for you, because this halfway mark marks the will that you will use to move forward. That Leo energy, that gut chakra and sixth chakra energy, aligning that so that now, since the shadows have been revealed and purified throughout this eclipse season, be sure to watch the first quarter video for this year, January through March, if you haven't been keeping up with what's going on, because the second quarter videos are about to be released for April through June. See what Great Mother was saying to you the beginning of this year with regard to where you are now. Because this reading, this halfway mark reading, is very important. It is the reflection of what the cleansing period has been coming up to this point of self-clarity, of self-desire, how to use that in mature and loving ways for yourself and for your home, which is the foundation of outward expression, that Aquarius energy, okay? With now the supportive energies being available for us to implement and to manifest our will from that foundation. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Sign by sign. Let's see how this works for you. I want everyone to see this because some of you actually will be testing to see what resonates best with you, your Western moon sign or your Sidereal moon sign. Again, be sure to check below. Also, you want to be sure to look at how unique we are as divine beings of the Great Mother, Father, God. Our needs truly are taken into consideration. Our uniqueness truly is considered. And as a collective celestial conscious group, in a particular sign, there are energies that we all share and that we are all working through. And that in and of itself is a support. Let's get started. All right, Cancer Moon people, let's see what energies are available for you to experience love, to feel love, and to know what loving energies are supporting you at this March full moon in Leo. Great Mother is speaking to you in this full moon in your second house. This is your house of values. And this Leo energy is all about having the power, empowering yourself to follow through with exactly what it is that you want to do, be, and have at this juncture of the eclipse season. So, Great Mother is coming through with what the sun is shining through that full moon, of course, in Aquarius. That Aquarius is in your 8th house, and she's showing you what is being illuminated through the shadows that came up during the last total lunar eclipse, just January 31st. And for you in Cancer, that was first, second house energy. It had to do with kind of a whole new way of being, a whole new way of identifying yourself in the world, a new emotional regime. So this is a watershed moment for you, which Great Mother is coming through, and she is confirming that whatever you're asking for right now, so whatever prayers you may have, whatever things that you're meditating on, that you want to manifest in your life right now, she wants you to know, Cancer Moon people, that you already have everything you need to do it. You are not aware of this, perhaps because of some challenges that this eclipse season has brought up for you. In that total lunar eclipse, that was, of course, lunar eclipses are purification periods, and so they purify shadows, and so shadows that had come up during the total solar eclipse were purified during that total lunar eclipse just in January. That cleansing happened for you again in first, second house, but the sun that came through that total lunar eclipse, that full moon sun, was in Capricorn Aquarius in your 8th house. So there was a tremendous rebirth for you at that time, and as a result, you have, during this full moon, what it is that you need to move forward with what you know in your heart of hearts needs to happen for you, needs to happen through you, needs to happen as a result of everything that you've already been through. Heart chakra is that crossroads between the ego and the soul that centers us in the world. It centers our soul in the world. That is the scene in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy and the three go before Oz to ask their wishes, not knowing that they already had within them what they needed to fulfill it. The journey to the witch's castle was about them owning that power. So yes, you already have the power, but you need to own it, Cancer Moon people. Your transformative opportunity to do that is going to be through self-creation. You are the one who has the power to create who and what you are about at this time in your life, as you have already energetically been intuitively undergoing this new regime of identity from your soul space, which is in Gemini. You've been receiving a lot of intuitive downloads about what this new regime is for you on an intuitive soul level. And so Ishel is coming forth here in the waning gibbous moon card to share with you that there is a need for you to own what your desires are. There may be some people or circumstances around you that are shitting on you, that are telling you what you should do, what you should want, what you should have, and it's not resonating with you. What is resonating with you is what you already have within yourself to fulfill. This is Sulis, the full moon card for you. Sulis is the goddess of the baths of Breton, and those baths are purification baths, very, very important in terms of scaling the emotional depth. So you've already done your emotional work. Of course, Cancer is a water sign, and so this further emphasizes, with it being a full moon card, with it being a heart chakra card, you have scaled the depths of your being through that journey, through your first and second houses of purification with that total lunar eclipse January 31st. You know who you are. You don't need to have, the 2 cents of other people telling you who you are and what you need to do, or even those judgments that keep running through your own mind. Check out the work of Byron Katie if you haven't already in the 4 questions. This is going to help you to really process those judgments so that you can expend them out of your system so that they don't continue to trigger you. Remember, this is the apex of this eclipse season. Cancer Moon people, take full and utter advantage of it. If you resonate with the Gemini moon energy, check the link below for the video to see whether or not that one will speak more to you with regard to your transformative opportunity. But if you're a true Cancer moon person, your transformative opportunity for this particular full moon in March in Leo to assert your will moving forward with what your true desires are, it is to create what it is that you want. Now, the sun is in the nakshatra of Shatabisha, and this nakshatra is called the moniker of 100 doctors. It is also conjunct Neptune, which rules Pisces in the Western. So what we are looking at are dreams. Go for it. Go for what you know in your heart. Trust it. Because what Great Mother does not want you to overlook is the fact that this purification that you have undergone has truly taken you from one phase of life to another. It's almost something that she's saying needs to be recognized and maybe even ritualized in some form during this full moon. I am not one to stick to rituals because I know that the energies in and of themselves are powerful enough. But rituals are important because they do mark our experiences in this time-space milieu. When we do not mark our experiences, we tend to have issues of addiction. And this is an indication, the Eshel card, Cancer Moon people, that there may be an addiction to approval of others. There may be an addiction to other people buying in or co-signing with what you want. And what Great Mother is saying is that you have undergone a purification. You've had some experiences that have shown you that you are no longer a child, that you are no longer at the behest of others' judgments in order for your survival needs to be met, for example. You are not at that place anymore. And what she's needing you to do is to recognize that in and of yourself and to trust that heart chakra energy. This is another waning gibbous card. This is after the full moon. So you have two waning gibbous cards, which are about sharing and thanksgiving. These come right after the full moon. So she's telling you that during this full moon, recognize the purification that happened during the last full moon. It came forward right after that full moon. And this full moon is all about receiving that. And as you do receive that, Cancer Moon people, you are going to be able to release those addictions. But you do have to receive that purification. So think back to some of those things that you have been reborn through, that 8th house energy in that Capricorn Aquarius sun, that full moon last time was in that sun, and that sun was really shining forward with this energy that was telling you that it was time for you to really listen to your inner self and to really trust the wisdom that you had in your perspective of your past and how you were processing that and how you were dealing with that. Those energies were coming up for a reason. And she's saying that you have already assessed all that. That's been purified. That came through that full moon. It's in your heart. It is in your energetic system, in your chakra system. This is the heart chakra. It connects the ego and the soul. It connects the lower survival chakras with the higher intuitive chakras. This is a survival chakra. The Ankh represents the second chakra in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck. And so that's a survival chakra. It has to do with desire. It has to do with physical procreation. It has to do with how we value ourselves and the relationships that we establish according to that in the physical world. That's your transformative opportunity. Those wires need to be pulled and reprogrammed for support in what matters and what is real in your heart in real time today. Okay? That's the self-creation for this waning gibbous moon, after this full moon, to self-create. The shadow that you may be experiencing at this time is that fear, maybe that reluctance, okay? And so that reluctance having to do with following the yellow brick road. The Mave card is all about trusting that that gut, that yellow, okay, that gut chakra and the yellow brick road through the rainbow world of Oz, the physical material experience that we are having as spiritual beings in this world is veiled by this reality illusion yin yang type of sensitized experience. And so there's a reluctance to get back into the game now that you have real sized your emotional state and your identity in the world. It's kind of like, whoa, this is new. And so just like the Munchkins encouraged Dorothy on to leave Munchkin Land, as comfortable and as beautiful as it was, to follow the yellow brick road. And that's what Great Mother is saying to you. She's saying that you were dancing with this opportunity and you were at the crossroads with regard to this, because you are leaving a situation that no longer serves you. In fact, it may be for you very much either mama drama trauma, or a similar situation such as daddy drama trauma, or a pattern in your life that has produced a sense of abandonment and abuse. And so you're leaving a bad situation. This follows with this reading through this new self-creation and through this regenerated sense of self and asserting your will in the world. The Pachamama card is all about that regrounding, that root chakra in the world. And this root chakra is another waning gibbous card. Now, this is also a waning gibbous card. Great Mother's coming through and she's telling you that this full moon and the last full moon in January were very auspicious times for you, and is a very auspicious time for you as this full moon goes into this phase. Pachamama is the Earth Mother card. Earth Mother is all about regrounding yourself. It's called earthing now, where you go outside barefoot and just feel the ground. If it's too cold for you to do that, if you could just stand directly outside of your office building at work or at home, just where the porch is outside, where there's still a little covering around you, and just breathe for about 5 minutes. Breathe that oxygen in, connect, amplify the new energies that you are embodying now. Amplify them, dance with them, let them swirl around your energy system. We're made of the same stuff as stars, except for helium and hydrogen, which are native to this planet. And so that is why the planets are important to us. We are made of the same substance. We travel around energetically in our sleep state and in our waking state. Depending on our level of consciousness in our waking state, we will know how to work with the energies. Great Mother is saying work with the actual earth energies of air, of ground, of water. Okay, so that you can cleanse and ritualistically, in the material sense, be reborn. We do not have to physically die, or the soul does not have to literally release the physical body in order for us to be reborn. Great Mother is saying that for Cancer Moon people, what needs to be released is that sense of abandonment and abuse through acknowledgement. Admit it. It happened, or it is happening at this time, and you are in the process of self-creation. You are in the process during this full moon of recognizing you have what you need within yourself. You do not need to find it outside of yourself. You do not need external validation. You may want it, but the shadow of this situation is about you taking responsibility for who you are, for what you are, and for what you need. Acknowledge what those needs are. This is root chakra again, to feel safe and secure in the world. And you can do that by simply acknowledging within yourself that the journey that you've had since the beginning of this eclipse season is coming to a close. And this is a climactic period, and so we know after the climax there is the dissolution. Okay, there is the waning phase. That's why you have so many waning moon cards here, Cancer Moon people. This is very strong for you. Great Mother told me to start with Cancer, and so this is very powerful for you. This is the One God, One Law card. This is a Great Father Law card. Great Father is the law, the word, the logos, the materialized form. And so the one law is that we are all connected. We are all made of the stars. We all resonate. In particular, your moon celestial collective consciousness is resonating with this energy to such a degree that the balsamic moon indicates that you've been downloading this need to move forward with this new identity since just before the new moon that we just had in February during that partial solar eclipse. That partial solar eclipse on the 15th, that new moon for you was in your 8th and 9th house. And so again, that's why we look at these eclipses, because they will always have these eclipses that are on those nodes. And so for you, it's been 8th house rebirth energy in the sidereal on a soul level. 9th house and the egoic, the tropical level. And so 9th house is, you're learning new things. Your whole philosophy of life is changing. It's expanding. And in the Western, speaking of expansion, Jupiter is in Scorpio. And so for you, with that Scorpio energy, that's 5th house energy for you. And so that's Leo energy, that's sun energy with this Leo moon. And so there's an expansion of this rebirth for you that's going on right now. And the sun of Aquarius happening for you in your 9th and 8th houses respectively, because it's Aquarius sun. So it's Aquarius in sidereal and Aquarius in the Western. So it's a very powerful sun that happened during that new moon partial solar eclipse. And that was showing you the shadows that remained in terms of acknowledging any abandonment or abuse issues. And so Great Mother was saying that you've had time to process this, and you know. And so it's time to realize that all is well, Cancer Moon people. Move forward and enjoy your life, because it's time to shine. It is time for you to shine. Brigide. This is the card in the Wizard of Oz when Dorothy dissolves the witch with the bucket of water and asks the castle guards for the witch's broom that she has come to retrieve. This is taking your power back, that phallic symbol, that broom. It's time for you to take your power back, Cancer Moon people. And Cancer will be the North Node in November as the node changes. It's the halfway mark. We're at 9 months. And so, yes, take that will, take that power that is being offered energetically to support you during this full moon, so that when your sign is the North Node in the Western, you will be able to fully express the beauty of your lunar element. These general readings places Cancer in the 1st house, and so in your actual natal chart, your Cancer might be in your 4th or 6th house, which is why I encourage personal readings for a more precise look at what's going on with you, and especially I would for you look at that. The links are below if you want to do that. But this is throat chakra, and so that means with this new identity coming forward for you, something to do with speaking your mind or speaking your wants and needs very clearly amongst your loved ones. It has to do with also this full moon, since the moon is in your 2nd house, communicating your values, what's important to you, how you spend your money, how you allocate your resources is shifting. Embody that, own that, state that. A really good statement I give clients all the time is, in the past, I know I had a tendency to really spend a lot of money on clothes, but now I really don't even go to the mall to shop that much. Thanks so much for the invitation, but I really do think that I'm just going to do XYZ instead, because I'm really learning this new thing, and I think I want to see what's available for me in that, that kind of language to make the transition. Because many times when we do change, and especially when we're shining our lights and speaking our minds, may I have the broom? Sometimes you just have to take it, and in order to do that as gracefully as possible, we do need to anticipate that there is a resistance others will have to our shifting roles. But this particular time, with these particular axes and eclipses, everybody's changing and shifting, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. But if you are particularly sensitive, I do want to offer that caveat to you. The outcome for your reading is to embrace the shadow. Embrace it. The shadow is that inconvenient truth, that thing that we would rather not express, we'd rather not talk about. we'd rather not others know. Saturn for you, Cancer moon people, is in your 7th house. And so that came up for me just now because that is the great teacher that will really be zeroing in on what you can focus on in terms of your growth for the remainder of the cycle as you assert your will to express yourself. And so the energies that will support you are going to be energies that have to do with contracts. So as you change and you shift your identity and you own it, okay, and you shine your light, be very aware of the new relationships you establish. You may suddenly decide that you're ready to get a divorce. That's contractual. You may suddenly decide that you want to get married. Okay, so that's the shadow, things that you might not necessarily want to articulate at this time. You might not necessarily want others to know or even admit to yourself, which is why Great Mother is saying release that. Release any abandonment or abuse issues. Contractually, businesses that need to be dissolved, that sort of thing needs to be spoken. Take your power back. As well as businesses that you might, because of a new expression, a new interest, want to develop. Be very, very clear about what it is that you want, and do not think that your dreams are too outlandish. Remember, Neptune is conjunct to the sun. Embrace whatever shadow that is. It might be inconvenient from your perspective to think that, you know, in the past I've done businesses in a pyramid type of scheme. I've always had networking groups and that sort of thing, but that's kind of difficult for me to maintain now because my personality is shifted. For example, I don't know how this is shifted for you. Again, that would be identified in your particular birth chart, but say that it was in the area of relationships with the public and you've just shifted in that. That's not where you are right now. And so that type of a structure or scheme for your business wouldn't necessarily work. And so now you're looking at doing some things in terms of more direct marketing or doing more things online and from the basis that you've already established, and you do it yourself with maybe just a few people. Those types of things are shadows as well sometimes because we feel that we don't have the skill set. We don't know how to approach the situation. It makes us feel kind of insecure, and it's difficult to admit those things to ourselves. Great Mother is saying with this third eye crescent moon card, this is a new beginning for you. You're planting new seeds, but not just any seed, Cancer moon people. Great Mother rules your sign, the moon. This is third eye. The ajna, which rules the third eye. You're getting downloads that are in alignment with your soul. Your soul's new identity that you are creating through your materialized personal will, efforts, and energy is something that you know. This is the card in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy realizes that Oz is just a man, and she tells him, "You are a very bad man." To which he responds, "I'm not a bad man. I'm just a very bad wizard." So you're not a bad business person in that example. You've demonstrated that you know business. You just, not the greatest direct marketing person. You haven't worked, with a team of people to do something just for you, not on behalf of a corporation. That's all. Great Mother saying, embrace that. That's part of your process, Cancer moon people. This full moon is going to support you in asserting your new values, asserting those things that are meaningful to you now. And the sun in your 8th house is going to rebirth you in such a way that you will shine this light into the world in exactly the way that you need to, but beyond your wildest dreams. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing and liking. Remember that this is a part of a teaching that came from Great Mother to me, directly to you, and that you also have available to you to learn how to use as well. I forget to mention that so much, that if you're interested in learning about the cards, let me know. And I'll be happy to send you a deck. But whatever way I can be of support to you, let me know. As I've stated before, doing a personal moon reading for you would be great. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon.